What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the Toxic Fandom Podcast. We got Maddie with us. What's up, Matt?
How's it going?
We got Sebi and Mike. What's going on, boys?
Gentlemen.
What's up?
All right. Today, we are going to talk about our main topic tonight is going to be the Penguin show on HBO Max. And it's not HBO Max doesn't combine with any other thing, right? It's just HBO Max, or is that Cinemax and HBO? Is that where they got the name from? But before we get into that
was the idea, right?
I think so. I think that's what the idea was, because it looks like Cinemax logo and HBO logo combined. But before we get into any of the news and wasting time, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell. We've gotten a bunch of traction lately, which is amazing. I want to say thanks to all the people that have been watching the episodes and in the chat and all the new subs. Thank you for doing that. So definitely subscribe and hit that bell. We need the subscribers if we want to make this show grow. It whatever people say, it helps the algorithm, right? You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and SoundCloud, which I was talking to the boys. I don't know if we're going to continue that, but we'll definitely continue with the YouTube stuff, and we're really enjoying this. But yeah, definitely hit that up. So we don't have Joe here with us today to do the news. So Mike,
because he heard you were going to read the Vince McMahon Texts.
You heard I was going to read Vince McMahon's text messages. Oh,
man, he's out.
They're so dirty. Vince, you know what I want you to? I want you to read the news. Somebody do the news, because I can't read those. I read those, and it takes a lot for me to kind of like go, ooh. But those texts made me flinch a little bit.
Yeah, he could be your grandfather. He's so old.
Age is just a number, Mike. You're
horny
at 80. You're horny
a lot of talk about numbers.
30. There are lots of numbers of things and orifices and
Oof.
Oh yeah, man, he was. I gotta give him credit.
I'm kind of interested to see his doc now, just because how's he spinning those?
Let's put that up on the screen there.
Autocorrect.
Vince McMahon. He's got a documentary coming out. Is that right? That's the right way to spell it, right?
Yeah, sure.
But did I spell documentary wrong? No, I spelled that right too, I think. I don't know. I can't spell very good.
Kind of like a feel-good story about Vince McMahon when they first started it on Netflix, and then all the bad stuff started coming out about him, and
some of those texts wouldn't feel good.
Yeah,
some of those text messages would not feel good at all.
Oh, bueno.
Oh, Harry Perez says, "Oh, we talking about Toto." Uh-oh. I don't know who Harry Perez is, but I like him. Is that Seb in disguise? Is that you in disguise?
Not my burner account. I swear to God. I swear that I don't know who that person is.
I don't know, but he knows us because he's talking about Toto. So he definitely knows who we are. And we ain't talking about the band. But anyway, who's got some news? Somebody give me some news. We got to get off this.
I guess I'm doing that.
Sure, go for it. What you got?
Okay, so what do I got here first? We really need Joe. We don't have an intro if Joe's not here.
Well, I have it, but it's news with Joe.
No.
You want me to do it? I can do it. Watch this.
No. We gotta get him.
Who knows it? Well, now we know. And knowing is half the battle.
News with Joe. See how good I am at that?
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. News with Mike.
News with Mike. Sure.
Yeah.
Newly filed. Said you got to make a me in the.
I'm on it.
You got to get. I had to make me instead of Joe. Just make him bold.
Yeah.
It says newly filed. Which we saw an article about newly filed tax documents about the Acolyte show.
Okay.
Said the final cost of the show, according to some tax papers they filed in the UK, $230 million. For $1 million a viewer.
For $1 million a viewer. Is that what did they think it was prior to that? Did they think it was like 150 million?
150s. Yeah.
Yeesh.
That's an expensive turd.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Are they gonna scrap it like they did Willow and get like a tax write-off on it?
No, that's only if they don't release it, right? They can get the tax write-off on it.
No,
but
they
Willow
released
was
You have
Willow.
to not release it.
No, but they released Willow, and then they pulled it.
Yeah.
Like you could have watched all of Willow, because I know people who did. Like my brother watched all of Willow, and then he was like, he's like, you got to watch it. It's so bad. And I went, it's gone. They just took it off the service. I don't know what they'll do with that. I think they're kind of oddly proud of that show, The Acolyte.
Well,
which is
the director was
wild. Yeah, but like, did anyone here watch it?
I tried.
I watched other people review it, so I didn't have to watch it.
I watched one episode, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I tried one episode. I fell asleep
I
within
listened
15 minutes, and then I tried again, and then I was like, I tapped out. I was like, this is.
I listened to a show called Nerdrotic, a very, very big YouTuber on YouTube, and what was that?
Erotic is toxic. I saw his newest videos.
Oh yeah, he stole our bit. But if any of you out there
good.
listen to Nerdrotic, but please tell them
listen to us.
to listen to us.
Yeah.
Please tell them, do a super chat for Nerdrotic and say, hey, check out Toxic Fandom Podcast. I think you'd like him. But I would listen to him every week, and he would give me the rundown on what was going on. Harry's on fire. I like this guy, Harry. If I wanted to watch Lesbian Witches, I'd go to the Anus. I would go use the Anus. Oh, is this Joe Tambini as Harry Perez?
I think
Who knows who with the Anus is my old computer. That's what the Anus is. But yeah, the Acolyte I didn't watch it. But I know everything that happened in it. I know the chant. They're very famous for a chant. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Yeah, we know the chant, which is
Yeah, it was.
And it was all about the Jedi are bad people and the Sith are the good people, or they're misunderstood. That's the new thing, right? All the bad guys are misunderstood, and all the good guys, they're all bad in the end, right? But
my thing is, for like $230 million, what are you getting? Why spend $230 million on a show that's going on a streaming service? I don't even remotely understand that.
Because
how are you getting that back?
They're not going to get. How many subscribers would they need to add? How many new subscribers would they need to add to recoup $230 million?
I don't know.
I have no idea. They had to rewrite that show a bunch of times and refilm it a bunch of things because it was just getting really bad, like reviews and bad press. So they had to keep rewriting it. That added a lot to the cost.
They should have done it at least one more time because it stunk.
Like at some point, you gotta when even $100 million a show on Disney Plus is great. Like, how are you ever recouping that? You're not bringing that many people in for that, especially when you're choosing to go at it in such a divisive manner where you're purposely limiting the audience already. Right? You're going after a very specific part of the Star Wars audience. Let's say. How do the people in charge justify that much money? I'm shocked at the kind of way Disney operates at the moment, like how much things cost, the way they like what Willow, like Seb said, that cost them some ungodly amount of money. It's this high fantasy show, and then it's just gone like it never happened. It's baffling to me what's going on there at the time being.
I mean, it's not. They're not going to recoup money in toys because no one's buying those toys, even if they come out with them.
Well,
that's what I mean. Merch
toys aren't even for kids anymore. They're for adults, like collectors. Really, they're like $25 for an action figure nowadays. $50 for a Transformer.
It's crazy.
It's just not supposed to.
Speaking of Transformers, look at me. Speaking of Transformers, Steve, you wrote here the Transformers 1 is actually getting all right to good reviews.
It's getting phenomenal reviews, actually. No, I want to now, though. One guy I listen to, his name is the channel is called Film Threat. His name is Chris Gore, and he's a film critic that does all types of movies. He does the blockbusters, he does the indie films. If you want to know anything about a movie that's in the theater, go watch Film Threat. But he he likes good movies and he dislikes bad movies, and he doesn't say a movie is good because it follows an agenda or doesn't. He's not a right-wing person or anything like that. He gives honest to God judgments on these movies, and he said Transformers 1, the trailers don't do this movie justice at all. And I hated the trailers. That's why I didn't want to see it. I watched the trailers for that movie and I was like, this just looks like a stupid, campy, kind of like Minion style movie with stupid, corny jokes. And like, I know, like, it's meant for kids. I get that. But so was the original G1 Transformers. That was meant for kids too. And it was smart, and it had good messages to it, and it was entertaining for kids and adults. And this movie just looked like silly to me. And he's like, there are really good messages in the movie, and the trailers didn't do it justice. And it's a shame because no one's going to go see it because those trailers sucked. So I want to see it now. I actually want to.
Didn't the first one scar half the little children that saw it by killing Optimus Prime?
The 86, the Transformers, the movie.
That's the one you're talking about, right? Having good messages for children.
Yes,
everybody
absolutely.
dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody dies in the first 5 minutes, just so they can come out with a new line of toys.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason for that. Rito wants to know who's the porcelain Ken doll on the bottom left-hand corner. That's Matt. Apparently Rito has never watched the Popcorn Bucket.
Well played, sir. Well played.
The Popcorn Bucket is our weekly movie review show, and I host that with Matt, my buddy Matt. And Matt and I had a podcast way back when I was teaching in New York City. He was he started a podcast club, and I was the moderator of the podcast club, and that's what got me into podcasting. So you can thank that little porcelain doll in the left-hand corner.
I don't like that
for this podcast. All right, there, Rito.
Oh, Rito coming and swinging.
Do you guys know Rito?
We do know Rito. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Rito was a long time.
The show that shall not be named.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a Patreon too.
As long as I'm not getting dunked on by a total stranger, I can stomach that.
I'm getting dumped on by Harry. Harry is taking it out on me in the chat. I don't know what's going on in the chat with Harry, but I don't know who that is. He knows a lot about me though, so I'm thinking it's
He'll be your wife.
So I think it's Joe. Harry's going hard. He's going hard to the paint. He's talking to me like Vince McMahon. Crazy in the chat.
I gotta pull this up. Hold on.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So Transformers, I want to see it. I want to take my son. My son's not really into Transformers, but I want to go see it. Now that I heard.
Well, is there anything Transformery out like besides that? Like, is there a show that they could watch to get them into it? Like, where did this movie come from?
There is a show, but the show gets ripped because of how woke it is. There's like robots using pronouns and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it the same art style and characters that are in this one?
No.
I don't think so at all.
It's like cheesy, kind of like.
It's like a Paw Patrol version. It's like a Paw Patrol version.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. My son wants nothing to do with those other ones. The only one he likes is the G1. And you can watch those on Tubi for free. The whole series. He hates the movies. He thinks the robots look ridiculous, and just
robots using pronouns is silly to me. They're robots.
Also, if you've ever written anything, don't you want people to like it? Like, what child is going to be like, oh, thank God they're referring to Optimus Prime as Zazim or whatever the hell?
They're not writing it for the kids though. That's the thing. They're writing it for the parent they hope is letting their kid watch it. I don't know who they're writing it for.
You think there's a lot of Transformers fans from the 80s who are really into pronouns? Like, I don't even understand. Like, that's what I don't understand about Star Wars with the Acolyte. Like, who is it for?
It's just kind of strange that it sounds like all these people that are writing children's TV shouldn't be allowed near children at all. Like, those all sound like deranged people.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that group has an interesting mentality, to say the least.
I also don't understand the point. Like, if you don't love the source material in whatever aspect, for whatever show. Why write a show about it? Just
because
to change it.
Because they don't like the show. That's the thing, Mike. They know the show has a following, and they want to get. I have this theory that they are trying to ruin everything that we had because of what it stands for. I think they're doing it on purpose. I think Disney, in some weird way, is trying to destroy Star Wars on purpose, so that it's not what we think it is, and that they can make it into what they want it to be.
No, I can't.
Why else would you make the Acolyte?
They're only
Why else would you
motivated
make that
by money.
shit?
They're only motivated by money, right?
But they're getting loans. They're getting loans from these crazy companies that want to push the message, and they're getting. Dude, I'm telling you, they're still making money on it somehow. I don't know how it's working, but I'm a big conspiracy theorist now. But I think this. I think it's all a big scam. I think it's I think it's all a big. I think it's all happening for a reason. I think it's all. They're playing the long game. They're playing the long game.
Connecting the dots.
The long game.
The long game is eventually all you'll have is people that believe this message, and then they can just use this IP that is worth so much money that is guaranteed to have fans, and then they can just eventually push their message.
No, they're losing so many fans. Like, how many subscribers they lost?
Steve's putting it up. They want to virtue signal and check boxes. I get that, but this is the same company that recently has in their parks redone their they call it their DAS system, which is like the system for disabled people or people that needs to not wait online. Right? They redid that whole system because there were so many people taking advantage of it. Is what they said, that they had to redo the system so that people couldn't take advantage of it, and they cut out everyone who didn't have anything but what would be considered basically like autism, who couldn't physically or mentally handle standing in line. That in turn made them, like, the story came out this week that a guy with stage 4 terminal cancer taking his kids, they denied him, right?
Wow.
So, but what it seems like actually happened was the only reason they did this was the lines were getting so long in those kind of fast pass queue lines that the people weren't buying them because so many people were already in the queues to taking advantage of the disability pass, that they were like, well, let's clear those people out of the speedy lane so we can sell more and make the thing we're selling more advantageous. So they're willing to have a media story run that a man with terminal cancer just gets fucked just for $1. I can't see how they would care about any message over money. Yeah. Like, they just don't care. Like, and I get it. They're a big company. They should be motivated by money. I just don't understand the decisions, like everything. Agatha All Along, right? It's the next news arc. Anyone watch it? Any of you guys watch it?
I did. I watched the first 2 episodes. I watched the entirety of the first 2 episodes.
What are your boys' thoughts?
The first episode. First of all, let me put it this way. I don't understand how they can put the Disney name to this show. Okay? Growing up as a kid and as an adult, you know how much I loved Disney. Maybe not as much as you, because you are the biggest Disney fan I know, Mike.
That's my point.
But I went to Disney every year. I was at Disney World with my wife, and then when I had kids, I brought my wife, and I went with you a couple times. We went together.
Yeah.
My Christmas tree is just, almost exclusively Disney stuff. I can't understand how they can air this show and put the Disney name on it. It has a nude woman in it. You see Agatha's bare ass in it. Okay.
What? I'm gonna watch.
Yeah. That I gotta tell you, it's the only reason I put it on.
Long, boys. Let me get that.
Gotta tell you, he's got plenty of
it's
it.
in Steve's book. Just go to 8 minutes in. Don't even worry about the rest of the show.
Right. There's a line in the show, like one of the first lines in the show. The show opens up where she's still in kind of Wanda's spell, and she's a cop, right? She thinks she's a detective, and she the chief comes in and like barks orders at her, and she's like, "Eat my ass, chief." Dude, that's in a Disney show. The line "Eat my ass, chief" is in a Disney production. Walt Disney would not be okay with.
We weren't reading the Vince McMahon texts. What's going on?
Yeah. what else?
But that's my point, Steve. Right? You're a giant Disney fan. What has this like? Would you have remotely watched it if we weren't doing this?
Absolutely not.
If we weren't,
and I haven't.
Right. So,
and I canceled my Disney Plus subscription 2 years ago.
So to my point, I can't understand I don't understand the decision making because I've canceled Disney Plus. I brought it back a little while ago, but I had canceled it as well. So I'm like, there's nothing I want to watch. It doesn't do it like a stance. I just like there's nothing I want to watch. And my kids like, please bring it back.
And pretty much everything that's like more. Okay.
Rito says more tax write-off. So when they cut a minimum check to the group they appeal to, they can report the donations publicly.
Yeah, I don't. It's just
big money scheme.
$230 million.
They've lucked into everything too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Matt, you
had a great original. Like Avengers was Paramount. They bought that. Like they haven't made something that's like a huge hit by themselves in a long. Frozen, they got sued for that. It was a stolen property. Wreck-It Ralph, you hated that second one. I remember that. And all the Pixar movies are just sequels now. I mean, this is not what the company was 20 years ago. And it's just been a complete disgrace, I think, since probably 2010. I can't think of anything that they've made that's really theirs that people actually like.
You want me to give my view on Agatha, though? You want to hear what I have to say about Agatha?
Yeah.
So if you can get through the first show, the first show is really hard to watch. The first show is almost unbearable to watch. And I don't know if it's on purpose or not, because like I said, she's like acting like she's in a cop drama. But everything around her isn't a cop drama. Like there's the world going on around her, but she's stuck in this cop drama. And it's some of the worst cop drama acting I've ever seen. Like, and I don't know if that's on purpose, because some people that I watch say it's on purpose, that she's overacting.
The original series like supposed to be stuck in TV shows and stuff like that, so maybe it's supposed to be bad.
Yeah, so maybe it's supposed to be that, but it is way over the top kind of acting.
Yeah.
However, the second episode, it doesn't really bother me. It didn't really bother me. Now, maybe this is because I don't know anything about this character. I've never read a single comic book about Agatha Harkness. I've never read anything that has to do with her character in Marvel Universe. So I am looking at this as a completely separate show. And I don't think it should be a Marvel show. I think like I heard somewhere else that it should have been Hocus Pocus 3. It should have been named something like that, because the story is not really all that terrible. Like she's a witch. She wants to get her powers back. She has to go down this road and do this witch thing, but she has to go with a coven or a group of witches. And she has to, she goes around the first 2 episodes. She goes around finding other witches that can join her coven so that she can go down the witch's road to get her powers back. The story itself isn't that bad as far as that goes. Like I wasn't really offended by it, to be honest with you. The kid in it, the boy, who the spoiler is going to be Wiccan. He's one of the X-Men, I guess, or he's Scarlet Witch's son or something. I know nothing about him in the Marvel Universe either. He gets gayer as the show goes on. Like he starts off pretty gay, and then he ends up like so gay. Like every minute he's on the screen, his eyeliner gets darker. He has more lipstick on. Like it looks like he has more lipstick on. He gets more effeminate as the show goes on. Does that really bother? He's the worst part of the whole show. If he was out of the show, I don't know if it would be super terrible, right? He's the worst part of the show because all he does is tell the ladies how great they are. A lot of people were talking about this is the gayest Marvel show to ever air or something like that.
Yes, I saw that.
If you were to just watch these 2 episodes without hearing that, the only gay part of the show is the boy. The girls there's nothing that says the girls are lesbians. There's no inclination of that at all. There is one scene. You guys know who Aubrey Plaza is? Sounds like a place, but it's an actual person. Her and Agatha Harkness get into a fight and they're choking each other. It's like borderline hot. When she chokes Aubrey Plaza has this look on her like she's enjoying it, and I'm like, And you're just seeing the arm, like the hand on her neck, So you can kind of put yourself in that situation with her there. But anyway, I digress.
I
But
thought we weren't reading the Vince McMahon texts.
Oh no, the Vince McMahon texts were way worse.
She was she was my first celebrity crush, Aubrey Plaza.
Was she?
Yeah, she was in
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recreation. Yeah, I was like 12 or 11 years old. That was like my Jessica Rabbit.
Minute 14 and 13 seconds. You want to check that out in episode 1, just if you need something for the memory banks there. But the show's not. I didn't think it was all that bad. And maybe I'm just.
It doesn't sound like it's all that good though.
It's not. Well, I want to watch the 3rd episode. There's one creepy ass character in it that's like scary as shit. They're called the Salem 7, and the Salem 7 are trying to get Agatha before she goes down the road, and it basically just looks like a lady veiled in all black, and she kind of crawls around weird and shit like The Conjuring or whatever the hell that show was with the girl coming out of the TV. That wasn't The Conjuring. What was that? Matt, what was that movie? The girl coming out of the TV.
That's The Ring.
The Ring, yeah. She kind of crawls around like that, but she's all veiled in black and she's creepy. So I'm gonna watch the 3rd one. I'll watch it until it really offends me. But so far it hasn't. There's my take on that. Sorry. I didn't think it was terrible.
No, I'm not. It's not that. It just. I think that's a weird bar for your television. I'll watch it till it offends me. Not I'll watch it because I like it.
Right.
I'll watch it till I get so furious I can't watch it anymore.
Rito says, so they're trying to get the same audience to release Rocky Horror since they own the IP. Disney owns Rocky Horror? I didn't know that.
Was that a Fox product?
It must have been. Maybe.
See, and that's another weird thing, right? They bought all of Fox. What have they done with it? What Fox products have they added to the parks? What Fox products have they made new shows out of? Like, they didn't do anything with it. Whatever that was, $70 billion for Fox, and they don't use any of it. I don't understand the decisions there.
Do X-Men and all that when that's like the next phase, right? So
they just put out an Aliens movie. They just had an Aliens movie come out.
They did X-Men 97. That was good. Actually, that's one of the last things that Disney has done pretty good. X-Men 97 was a good show.
That got great reviews.
Like, that's the only guy is Feige. He's the only one that seems to have any sort of an inkling of what people might actually like. There's tons of other properties in there.
He made the Marvels. He made the Eternals.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He stewarded them through those first couple, like that first run of films, which everyone thinks are good to borderline great. Like maybe individually, not one is great, but as a like combined 22, 23 film work, come on, that's pretty freaking amazing what they did.
There are a couple of great movies in there. Winter Soldier,
even if movie. Like Thor 2 is not great, but like as a whole, tell one story, create that. Like it's amazing what they did.
And we were excited. You would look at circle on your calendar, May 1st.
Yeah, we used to go opening night to them.
Opening night.
Oh yeah, every one of them, every single one of them. And but Thor 2, as bad as it is,
I'd wait for it to come on TV.
Yeah,
for the day. I was thinking about doing a Superbox showcase show once a week, because there are so many movies on Superbox that never make it to the theaters. They just like go right to DVD or right to Blu-ray or whatever is the thing, and like it'll pop up and I'm like, "What's this movie?" And it's like 2024, and it'll be some like random Western or some random alien movie or something like that. And I'm like, maybe I should just watch a movie that no one's ever gonna see, and do a Superbox showcase on it. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? You never know. My content is king.
So good.
Why? Maybe they have a message that people don't want you to hear, and that's why they don't do well. Who knows?
You are crazy conspiratorial guy.
I'm a crazy conspiracy guy. I'm telling you.
It could just be a bad movie.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Wow. That's fine. A lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal movies on there that made direct to your Wonderbox or whatever.
And Mav over there thinks that.
That's right.
Mav thinks they're going to release the Epstein flight logs in there, and he's.
All right. Any more news? What else do you got? We got Max and Disney. Max bundled with Disney.
Oh yeah,
and
well
Hulu.
we are talking about Disney, right? Max, Disney, Hulu, and Max, which is an odd pairing, is now going to offer a bundle. The price isn't bad. $16.99. You get all three: Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max for $16.99. With if you're willing to deal with the ads for $16, that isn't horrendous. I actually think HBO Max has some decent stuff every now and then.
I get all the content on all three of those platforms through Superbox. $300 flat fee, one-time flat fee on Amazon. Get your Superbox while it lasts.
Because I subscribe to all of those.
You're crazy.
I think I get one through the cell phone and one through my internet company, like at discounted rates or whatever. I'm not sure.
My dad had Max through Spectrum because he was getting Spectrum.
Yeah, I might have something like that.
Service. Or DirecTV. Yeah. No, he was getting He has DirecTV streaming, and they gave him Max, and then he transferred it to AT&T or Verizon, whatever else, and they took it away, and he's very upset. And I'm trying to convince him to get a Superbox, but he's going to get so angry at Superbox, I don't even want him to get it because he's going to be calling me up every 5 minutes, asking me to fix the Superbox because that's what he does. He calls me every night to tell me there's a bug in the wreath outside. Okay, you got to come over and get it. Why? I don't have to come over. No, I don't. Just leave it alone. Let it be. It's trying to get in the house. Oh God. Yes. Move down south with me, Dad. That's what I thought was going to be a good idea.
Interview your father every week.
Oh my God.
All in the family. Call it All in the Family. Steve and Archie.
Wow, that would be good.
That would be hilarious.
You think so?
2 episodes to get you canceled for calling the Chinese person or a black person the wrong thing. 2 episodes.
Matt has a very good title for it, man. Why don't you tell him what that is? What's the title for that?
His name is Ralph, right?
Yes.
Ralph wrecks the movies.
That's right. He would hate every movie. Every movie he would hate.
It's like the critic. It stinks.
It stinks. Liberals. He would just keep saying liberals over and over again. Speaking of which, J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter Max TV series reboot. What you got, Mike?
I had read that people were freaking out because they said that, oh my God, they're going to recast it as really woke or really a diverse casting over accurate casting because they said that, I forget what was the exact word, and they said that they're looking for a very diverse cast. But then I looked, and J.K. Rowling is producing it, and she is not what you would call woke, right? And what got everyone was they put up a casting flyer at the very bottom, the legal stuff at the bottom. They said we're committed to inclusive, diverse casting for every role. Please submit qualified performers, regardless of race, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, all that stuff. But that just seems like a legal thing they'd have to slap on there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that. I mean, maybe I just can't see her being Hermione's in a wheelchair and Harry's now African. I just can't see her doing that.
Why don't they just do it with their kids or their grandkids, or do it in the 100?
My question is, why do it? Why do a Harry Potter? Why do
a money maker? $gazillion.
You think?
It's going to be.
How did Star Wars work out for everybody?
This is 8 seasons of something you already know works. They're not changing anything. They're just doing.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you,
they're just redoing the movies.
Or Star
they're just
Wars.
redoing the books. They're doing the books, so it's going to be
one season.
It's going to be like Game of Thrones.
The idea.
Yeah, it's going to be like Game of Thrones in the beginning, where it's 10 episodes of the book.
So do it in animation or something. Do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
there is one casting already announced. I'm not sure if you guys saw.
No,
they're going to do. Gary Oldman will be playing Dumbledore, which I think is a home run.
Yes. The question is he going to be alive to do 16 years or whatever this will run for? If they do,
I think it's only 8 books.
Yeah, but only 2 years a season.
How old is he?
He's only 66.
Wasn't
he's
he
66.
in
He's got
the
plenty
original?
of time.
Did he
No.
play
He's
Sirius
like-
Black in the originals?
He did.
Was
yeah.
he? Oh, you might be
Yes.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Yes,
He did.
he crushes everything he's in.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor.
I saw some fan casting for that. Well, they wanted to do like a younger version, but I guess you could age him up for this. Is Adam Driver for Snape?
Oh, yeah. He would look the part.
I saw someone do like a pitch
That's
on
a
like
good one,
Reddit or
too.
something. It was like like young Snape when he's like dealing with like the Death Eaters and like being like double agent, and that's Adam Driver. I think that would be a huge hit as a show.
Yeah, that would be good.
But these production companies don't take those good ideas. They just want to. They want to. Like I listen to. Do you ever listen to Geeks and Gamers? They're a pretty good channel out there, and they love Star Wars so much, and they come up with these great ideas because they've read all the novels and they've read all the comic books, and they're like, they should have done this story, they should have done that story, but these, I don't know why, but these production companies just don't want to do the stuff that is almost a guarantee, like you said, Matt. Like that sounds like an awesome concept, but they won't do it.
See, that's
who
my
knows
thing.
why?
I think J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter world is a really interesting world to tell other stories in.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if I'd retell the story. Like those movies are reasonably well regarded by most people, right? Most casual fans like it. Most Harry Potter fans like it. I know it's not horrendously
Legitimate
accurate to
critics
the
like them.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I mean.
Like real, like they'll give them. That's like a 3-star movie out of 4 for those guys, and that's pretty good.
So you're only setting yourself up to fail against that. Like I just don't understand what they're doing. I'd rather tell me a story about another wizard or a different time or what, which is what I guess they tried to do with Star Wars unsuccessfully. I don't know.
Another school. They showed there was schools in like Russia, in France.
That's a good idea. That's an idea.
There's a U.S. Witch agency as well. And we saw that in the Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts movies were pretty good. I mean,
they're fine. Yeah.
Let's do what was that show in the 2000s? Oz, OZ, what was it?
Yeah,
there was a show called Oz.
Azkaban.
Yeah, let's do Azkaban, but Oz. Yeah, let's do that.
Azkaban.
Azkaban.
I think that's a better idea than rehashing the shows. There's no stakes in the shows. You know exactly what's going to happen, right?
Exactly.
You know, season 1, if Harry's in danger, you're like, well, I know he kills Voldemort at the end, so.
That's my issue with Rings of Power. Like, everything, what's going to, the ending. Like, I'm not scared anytime you put Isildur in a position of danger because he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So,
the one I did while we're on like Max specials, I've always wanted them to do it, and there's a ton of online support for it. Is like do Robert's Rebellion. I think that would be sick. Get Henry Cavill to play young Robert Baratheon.
I think he's too old, but I like it.
But you see what I'm saying? Just like see this guy in his prime with the Warhammer. Because people like House of the Dragon. And I think that one you could just do one season. Just do 6 episodes. And I think people would love that. But these are what you're saying is these producers just have these great ideas and then they don't do it. And then somehow something like Rings of Power gets pushed through because of an agenda. And it's just ruining the brand.
They are doing a show called The Hedge Knight. Did you hear about that?
Is that Duncan Egg? Is that what it's called? Duncan and Egg or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So Duncan Egg it's actually, from what I understand, it's the only like truly happy ending that you get in Game of Thrones. Like it's a legitimate like knight is a good knight, saves the day kind of story. It's not your typical Game of Thrones. The good guy gets his fucking head chopped off and his wife gets raped the whole time and that kind of stuff. It's supposedly like, like the only good story, like not when I say good, I mean like, traditional story that he ever wrote.
But that's going to be a limited series, right? Not like I think that's a one and done type.
Correct. Yeah, it's a one and done. Yeah. Because it's an offshoot from the show itself or from the books itself. But
all
right.
Again, I loved the first 5-6 seasons of Game of Thrones, whatever it was, until they got off book, and then they're unwatchable. And I won't go back and rewatch the show because I know how bad it ends. And like, you know, my older one, I've been like she's like, what's a good TV show to watch? What's a good TV show to watch? And I know she really likes fantasy and all the stuff I like, and I don't recommend Game of Thrones because I'm like, you're gonna love it, and then you're gonna fucking hate it. Like, and like that's
But she should still watch them though. I mean, they're it's some of the best TV ever made. Those first 6 seasons.
The first, like that horse meme where they show like the drawing of the horse and then it becomes the doodle. Like that's the perfect representation of Game of Thrones. Like it's so good at the beginning, and then
it's perfect. So the first 4 seasons are perfect. It's not, you know, it's not even good. It's like every episode you're hanging on a thread because the stakes are so high. Because you know anyone could really die. Someone could die in the middle of an episode, and they're like, "Oh, moving on." You know, like I like that.
Just throw it away.
Even with like Heroes was like that for me. Like the first like 3 seasons of Heroes was friggin' unbelievable, and then the last 3 or 2, whenever they entered the circus, holy shit, is that unwatchable?
Well, they had the writer's strike that really affected the show.
They were talking about bringing that show back. They were toying around with it.
I don't think they brought Heroes back.
No, I think I don't think it ever got out of like production, but I think they had talked about bringing that show back.
It had 1 season in 2015.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I remember this because there was a lot of nerds that were excited and nobody cared once it came out.
Yeah. Mikey Hers says, I was going to start Game of Thrones, but I heard it had a bad ending. I talked myself out of wasting my time on something I'll hate the ending of. Yeah, it's a real shame because you need to see the first. You need to see the first, 2/3 of that show.
8 seasons?
It's 8 seasons.
7.
7?
7?
No, 8.
I think it's 8.
You're right.
8, yeah.
Yeah, so like the first 5 or 6 are like the first 4 are brilliant, 5 and 6 are solid. Then it just the left. I would almost agree with Steve. It's worth watching for those early episodes.
It is.
I enjoyed it so much. I read the books from.
So did I. And I hate reading. Like it's Lord of the Rings good. Those first.
Yeah, there are endings in the show that don't necessarily come at the end. Like there are arcs and things and transformations that characters go through that are satisfactory before it gets horrible.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's good battles. Like the first real battle is the end of season 2. Like that's a great arc for said characters. I won't spoil it for that fan that's listening. But like that's something I would recommend to anyone that likes media. Like it's excellent.
Even all the way up to the Battle of the Bastards, is probably like that's a really good scene too. But
that's an excellent scene, yeah.
Mike Hurst says, Seb, don't tell him I've never seen Lord of the Rings. How dare you, Mike?
What?
Mike,
really?
Oh,
to be fair, Mike hasn't seen much.
To be fair,
I think he's maybe seen 10 movies in his life.
Mike,
it's the best thing that ever was done in movies ever.
It's the best fantasy thing by far.
By far.
It is fantasy, right? Like it's the perfect story.
I enjoy like once a year sitting and rewatching them all.
100%. 100%. The extended versions too. Not even the normal
definitely
ones.
Worth seeing.
Yeah.
Yes. No, extended versions. Yep.
What did Rito say? Broke up with my girl. Rito says, broke up with my girl at the time because she loved the ending and I didn't. Turned into a big argument. Yeah, you made the right choice, Rito. Get rid of that.
Yeah, she might have been a little special. She loved that ending.
Jeez. Terrible ending. Poor Jon Snow. I'm not going to say anything, but poor Jon Snow. And I can't wait to see what he does because the book's still not done. There is no real ending to that whole.
He's never going to finish those.
No. You don't think so?
No, because that was his idea, right? He pitched them how he wanted the show to end, and people fucking hated it.
Mike Hurst says, I remember watching half of the first movie and it was dragging on way too much. I got bored and turned it off. Yeah, the first movie does drag a little bit.
Yeah,
something's wrong with it. Yeah.
Mike's
well,
the Lord touched that boy.
Yeah. You have to get at least to Rivendell when they have the Council of Elrond. You got to get to that. That's where the movie really starts, in my opinion. The Fellowship. That's when It really gets
Come
involved.
on, even the early stuff.
Mike, I love all of it. I love it all.
Yeah.
My favorite version is that YouTube version with Samwise Gamgee says, "This is the farthest I've ever stepped from the Shire," and then it goes to the next scene, and then it plays it every time he moves a step. It's
like 13 hours long. 13 hours long. It's so funny. Did you ever see that?
Mikey.
No,
funny.
that's so funny.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's been
How
touched
did you
by an
find
angel.
that?
Yes, you have.
Oh, Mike
How did I
Trout?
find him?
He touched you.
What?
What?
He said, "I've been touched by an angel." That's an Angels player. I was making a joke.
Speaking about baseball, how do you
Oh.
like this? How about Ohtani going 50-50-50 or whatever the hell he's done?
Seb says
Mike was-
Seb said, "Oh, it's because you played the Marlins." Like I didn't even understand.
Yeah. Mike sent the text.
Oh,
And the text was
I
like,
work with
Ohtani went 6 for
Dominican-
6 with 6 home runs. And then Sebby's like, yeah, he played the Marlins. Like, they're all Major League
As if-
Baseball players.
It's
As
the
if
Marlins.
Seb's like, I went 12 for 12 against the Marlins. Like, what are you talking about?
It's arguably the greatest day ever had by an athlete on one game.
Oh no, it's against the Marlins.
It's
No,
against
you
the
know what it
Marlins.
is? This guy I work with, this Dominican guy I work with, like loves Ohtani so much, and he just speaks about him all day long. It's got really annoying all summer long, and I every time I hear his name, I think of this guy I work with, and it just annoys me. That's why I threw some shade on it.
One of the greatest offensive seasons in history.
He's
And
going to
every
win
year he
MVP
does.
as a designated hitter.
He has that season every year, though. That's crazy. He's
Yeah, but
having the best season
is
ever.
insane. To
Who's
hit
the
for
last person
power
to
and
do
be
it?
able to steal 50 bases.
He's the first ever.
Yeah.
Is he the first ever? A-Rod never did it?
Ever done
A-Rod
it.
stole a
No,
lot of bases.
40-40 was the old benchmark.
Yeah.
And that was rare. Bonds did
Yeah.
it, and it's rare. Yeah.
Well, I texted you about it. We should bring it up on the show. What would you do if you caught the ball? That was kind of my. Because the
Well, you know what
Dodgers
happened
offered
with,
the guy.
Yeah.
The Dodgers offered the guy, I think, $300K, and he said no.
So that's crazy. So
I
like the guy who caught McGuire's 70th wanted to meet Mark McGuire. He wanted a signed jersey, a signed bat, and that's all he wanted. And McGuire was like, "No, screw you. Give me my ball." And the guy was like,
Really?
"No, go." Yeah. And the guy was like, "Go fuck yourself." And then he sold it for like $200,000 or something like that. And all the guy wanted was like a signed jersey and to meet Mark McGuire. And Mark was like, "No, I'm not meeting him."
That's ridiculous.
For $300,000, I would take $300,000 for a baseball. You got to get that tax free though. You got to somehow work that in there.
The Judge ball went for over $1 million.
What was
Really?
the Judge record? What was the ball for that?
The Judge, Aaron Judge, technically holds what they call the clean record for 63 regular season home runs because he wasn't
Oh.
on steroids.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. They're all on steroids.
You see the size of that guy?
He's built like a brick shit house. Like this.
My mom calls him Herman Munster.
Yeah.
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 Because because there was one play we were watching. It was like Sunday Night Baseball, and he plays the outfield, and he's running into the right field of Dodger Stadium, and he just burst through the wall and broke his
Yeah.
foot. Like, oh,
Just
poor
his
Herman Munster.
Just his outline is in the wall.
Yeah.
Poor
Did it have a
Herman Munster.
flat top too? Now every time
Oh.
I see him, I'm just gonna be having the Munsters song stuck in my head.
It's ruined it for me.
You should come up to bat playing that song.
That would be great.
Walk up music.
There was one Met player that used to come up to Samson and Son.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
because he was always hurt, so he's like a junkyard.
Rito said he would take $250K, an autographed jersey, and a 5-year season ticket. 5 years.
I
Of
want
season
season tickets for life. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I want like behind like whatever their legend seats, Clover, whatever their package deal is.
Right
I
behind home
want that
plate.
one for life.
So
Yeah.
then he would have to buy it for you because the Yankees or the Mets aren't going to give that to you.
Oh, they would because they want the ball too. Because
You
that goes
think-
in like the Met Museum or the
You
Yankee
think so?
Museum.
Or does it go to the hall?
I think it goes to Yankees. I think it would go to the Yankees.
I think it would go to the player. I think the player gets that ball.
I don't.
Ohtani
believe
gets
so.
that ball.
The only reason anyone wants that ball is because someone's going to go see it, right? Like it belongs in Cooperstown. I would probably just be like,
Ohtani wants that ball because he wants to put it on his shelf.
Like he's
then
in
he
Little
would
League.
You just settle a bet
yes, like he's in Little
No,
League. He would give it
Ohtani-
to the Hall. He would give it to the Hall.
Ohtani
once
wants
the Hall
that
asked for
ball
it.
so he can put it as a wager on his next gambling run.
That
That guy's
is
so
true.
guilty.
Yeah, he
By
needs what do they call
translator.
that? Equity. He needs some
Equity,
type of
yeah.
equity.
Yeah, so Diddy throws all his lube on the table. Ohtani throws his baseball. Then the stakes are high.
Oh, there you go. Rito says Ohtani had to break a record to hide that he is a gambler. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it
Let's
is
go
interesting.
Dodgers.
Like he's clearly gambling.
Clearly,
What are they going to do with him? Because they threw Pete Rose out of baseball
yeah.
for doing the same
Well,
thing.
Yeah.
for
Did
life.
Ohtani ever
Yeah.
comment? Because Rose vehemently denied it for like what, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did Ohtani ever say, I'm not gambling? Wink,
I don't
wink.
know. I don't know. No one knows what he says.
Yeah, it's all mumbles to me. I don't know.
They all speak fluent English, by the way.
Ohtani
Yeah.
does?
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy from work was in because he does medical. He's in the x-ray room just having a full out conversation with Kodai Senga. He's fluent English, he uses a translator. They all speak English.
That's just so they can
Really?
get away with not.
It's because, God forbid they say anything, then it's on the translator. It's not on them.
I didn't say it. That guy did.
Yeah, that guy did. I didn't say he misheard.
I didn't gamble. That guy did. That's
But
why.
wasn't that his excuse? Wasn't his excuse was like my
Yes.
translator said it wrong or
Yeah.
something like that? That's
Yeah.
great. I need a
I thought
translator.
was bu-
I need a
thought was buying
translator.
McDonald's. I had no idea.
That's what Pete Rose translated the next morning. Tweeted. He said, if I had a translator, I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude should be in the Hall of Fame, man. Best
He
hitter
should be in
ever
the Hall of Fame.
play baseball.
It's so
I have a
Shame.
signed
because
Pete Rose picture upstairs.
I thought it was
There
the worst
are-
haircut ever.
yeah, bowl cut. But
That thing was
Yeah.
terrible.
there are definitely cheaters in the Hall of Fame now. Definitely. There are definitely
David
steroid players. in
David
the Hall of
Ortiz.
Yeah.
So,
Mike Hurst says Ohtani bet on himself to succeed. Rose bet on a loss, didn't he? No, and
I
Rose
don't-
never bet on the Cardinals.
That's
on,
what they
on
said.
the
He
Reds.
always bet, and if he did, it was to win, right?
Yeah.
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 The
he never
problem-
bet- he-
with the integrity of it was that, like, if you, my dad showed me once, if you look at, like, he would overuse his better relievers on games that he was gambling on. He was like, oh, he's got one more in him, like, sort of thing. Like, and that was where it became a little
To make sure he'd win or whatever.
to make sure he'd win. Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'm going to save him tomorrow because I'm betting on us to beat the Cardinals tomorrow, sort of thing. That's where it gets a little, but he did. Oh, it's true. He always bet on himself to win, which I can respect.
I just I think at this point, there are definitely guys that use steroids in the Hall. There's no way you're going to keep them out now. I think at this point, you just got to open it all up. What are you going to do? You're just going to call it the steroid era and he gambled and what are you going to do?
There's no reason that, I mean, Barry Bonds has to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest hitter who's ever played baseball. And that's before steroids.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't
look
think
how
Mark
often
McGuire?
he
What about Mark McGuire? He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's not
He
anywhere
rein-
near what Bonds was.
He reinvigorated the game, dude. He brought people back
Oh,
into
agreed.
baseball.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's an
agreed.
important figure in baseball for sure.
You think
100%.
Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter ever?
I don't.
You look at the,
Not even.
at
I
the
don't.
I think
There's argument for it though.
like at the plate with the how often he walked. He like walked almost as much as he struck out. Like it was
Not
in
because
those
he had a-
prime years.
But that was because he was feared.
Yes.
There's a difference between, Barry Bonds walking because people are afraid of him hitting a 3-run homer and Tony Gwynn with the
That's
the
what I was
eye
going
that
to
he
say.
had.
Right.
Gwynn might have been the greatest hitter ever.
In
That's
my
pure
opinion, he
hitter.
was. He's my
Pure
favorite hitter of all time. Love Tony.
Never hit for power, but just a pure hitter.
Yeah.